Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is episode 5, right, Ethan?
Episode 5, I think you're right, Max.
Yeah, episode 5 of Play Your Cards podcast. We have our new special guest today. We have Megan Niger, one of my long friends and photographers, and we're just going to here to talk today about her business and Ethan's business and everything going on in the world. So, Megan, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
All right, I am Megan. I've known Max probably since elementary school, been neighbors for quite a while. I am a photographer, and I am 26.
Thank you, Megan. So today we're here. We're just going to talk about what Megan does for a business and what we do for hobbies and for fun to keep these businesses growing. And Ethan, if you'd like anything to add.
Yeah, Megan, did it start as a hobby and then you turned it into something?
I've been shooting since I was literally probably like 5, starting with little disposable cameras that you get like Walgreens and stuff. So it was always a passion, but the way that I got to wedding photographer wasn't necessarily the place that I saw myself going with it, but it worked out in the end.
It worked out that way. So weddings are pretty expensive. I mean, are you booked out for the rest of the year? Or have you been seeing some success with that?
Yeah, so this is, I think, my 4th year full-time.
That's cool.
So I do mostly weddings, but I also do like engagements, families.
Did you do any education, or did you have to go learn anything, any classes like that?
I went to college briefly, but more for the fine art aspect of photography. I didn't finish. I was there for a year and a half, and then most of the business side of things was a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
And talking to other people in the industry to kind of learn from them as well.
Did you have to mentor underneath someone when you started that, or you just kind of got your first gig and that was it? It took off.
So as far as weddings go, I did so there some photographers at weddings don't have a second shooter, which is kind of an additional photographer to them.
Yep.
So I did do one second shooting job, and then COVID hit, so then I couldn't work at all.
For a while.
Yeah.
What did you do during COVID? Were you still able to work, or not really?
No, so everything was shut down, but when it pretty much right after it opened, I ended up going full time.
You're so booked up.
Everybody was waiting, to kind of get married and do all the things after.
And so, Megan, I followed you on Instagram. I've known you for a very long time. So you've shot all over the world. Do you have a specific thing you like to shoot, or a favorite spot you've shot in the world? I know you go out west and shoot a lot out there. And have you ever been overseas or a different country to shoot, or what's your favorite?
So my favorite is definitely Montana. Favorite for many reasons. My second would probably be Iceland. That was kind of
It must have been pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it didn't feel real. I've also been to the Dominican, California, all over New England.
A lot of traveling just for photography, or just because for enjoyment?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Most of it for photography. Hoping to do more travel.
Mm-hmm. Do you do weddings in different states, or is it just kind of going there to shoot and then have some good content kind of thing?
So I just got back from a wedding in Montana.
Oh wow, that's sick.
Dominican was for a wedding. I went out to Iceland. It was kind of like an education type of thing for content, basically, for Iceland. So it's a little bit of mix of both.
So, Max, on the topic of weddings, you ever gonna get married, Max? Would you?
Yeah, absolutely. If I find the right girl, I'd pray I get married one day. I'd love to get married if I can find the right girl one day. That's a dream of mine, of course. But I'm in no rush. I'm still young. But if I find that right girl and the time's right, I'm not looking to rush anything. I'd love to get married. How about you, Ethan?
Yeah, man. Marriage is I don't know. I'm on the same page, I guess. Not yet, but one day.
Yeah, I'm in no rush. But if I find the right girl and the times are right and we connect like that, and I feel like it's somebody I'd want to wake up and see every day, then I'd love to get married. And how about you, Megan? How do you feel about just relationships and marriage and all that?
I would love to get married. I see it every day. See some of the happiest people in the happiest moments. I think that everything happens when it's supposed to happen. Hopefully it'll happen someday.
So I'd say, actually, are you pretty spiritual, I believe, or would that be correct with saying, are you very you have your belief, what's your belief system? Do you have a spiritual belief, or what's your kind of because what we were talking about John with the last podcast, he kind of has a very spiritual belief, and feel like a lot of my friends are that way. Just kind of trust the process and allow things to line up as they come, and you don't rush into anything.
I feel like with more spiritual people, marriage is like, it means less in a way. Not that it is less, but it means less to them versus more religious people. It's like this grand thing that is supposed to be, your vows are supposed to mean something, where less religious people are more, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but more likely to divorce or more likely to separate. Like, what's your opinion on divorce?
I mean, of course, you hate to see it. I mean, you want to see if somebody gets together forever, but I mean, you know what's best for the person too. If they're struggling with life and not feeling like they feel like they can, I don't want to say do better, but if they feel like they're just like not living to their full potential and somebody's not seeing them to their full potential, then I mean, separation is sadly something we see more often than we want to see, but it's part of daily life. And I mean, I know
do you think it's more common in other cultures or less common in other cultures?
Honestly, I'd say it's probably less common in other cultures.
In which cultures do you feel like?
Well, I feel like I really shouldn't even say that because I really have no idea. Like, these are just guesses, but like, as far as I know, I shouldn't even say it. I have no educated guess of like what's the marriage stats or anything like that. But I just know I'm happy with the way I live my life, and I just want to make sure the people around me are happy with the way they live their life, and I just want to make sure everybody's happy and vibing and just getting along. We can all live a good, happy, healthy, positive life together forever. That's all I just hope for everybody.
So that was kind of a deep subject to get right into.
Yeah. Starting off deep with the subject. No, it's all good. That's what it's here for. We're
I was
talking.
just curious. But,
well, how do you feel about it all?
Oh, man, dude. I don't know. I always tell you I feel religious, and I think that it's something that's really important. And divorce is like, I don't know. You probably make the right person for you. It's not like you find the right person and, your soulmate. I feel like you make your soulmate in a way.
Oh, yes,
in a
I agree.
relationship. You kind of have to build that with someone else. It's not just up to the one person or you find that one lucky person. Of course, there's people that you're more and less compatible with, but if you find someone that works and is compatible with you, you're probably more likely to make that into a soulmate than you are to find a soulmate.
Yeah, I believe the same thing. I don't think, of course I believe there's people that are great connections, but I don't believe there's one person out there for everybody. I feel like you make the connection.
So you think there is one soulmate for you?
No, I don't think that. I think,
okay.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe there's a soulmate. I feel like you connect with different people over your lifetime, and then you'll find that one person that you really connect with will be like, this is the person I want to spend my life with. Like, I don't think it just happens like, the first girl you ever date is like the girl you're gonna marry. Like,
sometimes
who knows?
it is.
But a lot of times for
the
people that find that, they're lucky to find that, and that's absolutely great. And like I said,
if I ever, it has to do with luck though.
But yeah,
I think it has to do with your fate.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right, because it's fate, and it's trusting the process to what's the word I'm looking for? To merge with the other person, and live your lives together, and realize you guys are compatible and can get along and do everything together.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you think it's meant to be?
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, you just know it's meant to be, and you have that connection where you feel like you're compatible, and you could live you want to be with that person every day of your life. Like, I believe there's that person. I feel like everybody should hopefully be able to find that person in their life.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's all types of different relationships, not just marriage, but like friends and family and certain things that are, I don't know, sometimes difficult. Relationship is difficult.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But it's not, I don't know. I just don't think it's always, like this meant to be soulmate thing. I think there's one aspect of a relationship is hard and you have to choose to be in love with somebody almost. Yeah,
it's not saying it's a bad thing, but I feel like a relationship is a job. So you have to take care of yourself, and you have to take care of the person you're with and the people that care for them as well. It's not saying it's a bad thing to have this job, but the relationship definitely comes with some harder terms. It's not just going to be like, oh, wake up every morning and it's going to be like, oh, you're the greatest person in the world. You're going to get in disagreements and arguments, and that's just what's going to build the relationship stronger and stronger, and to prove if you can get through those things and come out loving each other still on the other side, it's going to prove that you guys are meant to be and just compatible with each other.
The best relationship I have is with my little dog, Tyson.
I love Tyson. He's the cutest little puppy.
Cool guy, huh?
Yes, he is.
My dog.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Pets?
Jax is my soulmate.
Yeah, well,
you doubt it at all.
you post on, I see some of your Snapchat and Instagram like almost every day with your dog. Like your dog's you love your life as your dog, and
he's one of them.
And my dog is too.
I think we have many. I think the word soulmate is not just in a romantic sense. I think we have many that we come here and we plan to meet them somehow, some way, and you just know.
Yeah, it's just the people. It's something that came into your life to improve your life and just make you a happier and better person. Just Like the same with my service dog. Like I feel so lucky to ever get like a dog like he is. He's just such a good friend. He's so loyal and
he's on your chest.
And he's on my chest, yeah. But
he's tatted up.
Yeah, but he's with me no matter what. It could be the worst day. It could be the worst day. I could be annoyed. I could be mad. But
and he loves you unconditionally.
It's undeniable love. He always will come and give me a kiss and give me love when I need it, and just whenever anybody in the house needs it. That's one thing I see all the time, like on Instagram posts, like, oh, people don't deserve dogs, but like it's true. Like we don't deserve these dogs, but we're lucky enough to have them, so we got to be grateful for what we have with them and treat them with as much respect and love as we can.
I think that is kind of like a defining thing in is this a soulmate, is if it is unconditional love, like truly, and you can't have that for another human if you don't have it for yourself.
Absolutely.
I think that's like the reason that there is divorce, is because both humans truly love and know themselves before they decided to marry another person.
Yeah, you can't just jump right into it. You gotta wait. You gotta date. You can't just date for 3 weeks and let's get married. It's like, no, you got to learn each other and live together and see how everything works before you go jumping in it. It's like
I think to know yourself though.
It'd be like in condition for like Ethan trains for dirt bikes. It'd be like jumping on a dirt bike and saying, "Oh, you got to go ride the hardest track in the world." And like, there's no excuse. You just got to go do it, and whatever happens, happens. It's like jumping into a shark infested waters without knowing how to swim.
Shark infested waters. When is Shark Week?
It was a couple weeks ago, I think.
A couple weeks ago? Isn't that like a fall thing?
I don't know. I don't watch it, but I think I remember seeing it on TV recently.
You having any fall plans, Max? What's your Halloween costume going to be?
I don't know, dude. I got parties to go to, but I was in Napoleon Dynamite last year, and I haven't decided on a costume yet this year. It's kind of just spur of the moment. I get invited to a party, and I just find something stupid to put on and wear. And how about you? Do you guys have any plans?
Remember that party we had at the Moto Yard?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
I was a loser that year. I didn't have anything. Everyone was in a costume, and I was like, oh, I'm way too cool for this.
Oh yeah, I was the old man from Up, I think.
That was a good costume.
Yeah.
But
So we were talking about relationships and just believing and finding the right person. We're just talking about just life in general, and so like we're talking like we know this like I don't consider this like a fitness podcast. It's just like a lifestyle podcast about life. And I was talking to Megan before we came on the podcast. Something you've really become into is the gym as well, correct?
Yeah.
So like, what is your favorite thing to do at the gym? And like, what's your favorite thing to like about the gym and just about fitness in general?
My favorite like day at the gym is probably shoulders.
Yeah.
I honestly was always afraid to go to the gym just because I was like a string bean and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. People are gonna judge me. And I'm like, I'm not a person that likes to feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Or like people are judging me. And it took me a while to kind of be able to go by myself, but it's like if I don't go to the gym now, I feel like my whole day is just like not on the right track.
So every day, 6 days a week kind of thing?
Pretty much 5 or 6 days a week.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people that I help get started in the gym are kind of in the same place. One, they don't know what to do to get to where they want to. And two, exactly what you said, they feel out of place, feel like they're being judged. And honestly, the biggest thing to realize is everybody's feeling that way. Everybody's like, oh, everyone's looking at me, or I'm not moving big weights if you're a guy, or just feeling judged, but everyone's way too concerned with how they personally look and feeling the same way that people are looking at them, that they're not paying attention to you at all. And once you realize that, then you're more comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's were you going with friends for a while, or like?
Yeah, I was going with someone for a bit.
There you go. You gotta kind of have someone help you get started, and then once you know a couple exercises, you know your first routine here and then, you try some new things, and now you're in love with it, right?
Yeah.
Do you follow any kind of diet at all? Because I've been dieting like a motherfucker.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to get as much protein as possible.
Yep.
And try and keep like my calories up so I'm keeping my weight on, but I don't like track anything crazy.
That's something that would really like dramatically change how much progress you're making. When you're gaining weight, it's not nearly as important. You can kind of eat intuitively, but for anyone who does need to get leaner or lose body fat, you gotta at least learn what macronutrients are, what a calorie deficit is, and once you understand what those things are, you can more consistently eat intuitively to reach those same goals. But that's like what a lot of people are struggling with is the diet. It's the nutrition, which is just way harder than going to the gym, because you like going to the gym now, right?
I love it.
So the nutrition over time is what's most challenging. Do you have any other hobbies besides photos and
my dog?
your dog? Any
Yeah.
comedy shows? I mean, I like watching comedy. That's something that I've been spending too much time on. Favorite podcast right now is Kill Tony. I was just telling Max that. Kill Tony is like, everyone is a first-time comedian. They come up on this live podcast.
Wait, this just came up. Wait, no, it was the funniest thing. It just came up on my TikTok.
Yeah.
And the guy, I think this was it. The guy said something about rocks. Do you know what I'm
Oh,
talking
I
about?
know exactly what you're
It
talking
was
about.
so funny.
Yeah, funny-ass black dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He, I can't remember his name, but a lot of people will start with that, and it's all kinds of, like, first-time comedians come to this show trying to get pulled up on stage. It is freaking absolutely hilarious. And then they roast them. Max, we should definitely go do some stand-up comedy one day. I feel like I feel like you could do it.
I have some jokes. They're not probably YouTube. So they're not jokes I'm going to say on my podcast. But if you know what I mean, I've got some a couple jokes.
Yeah, you got jokes, man.
And so, something else I wanted to talk about. Well, in the last podcast, we talked about tattoo. Like John was talking about, he wanted to get tattoos. I have 4 tattoos, but Megan, you have several tattoos, and I feel like tattoos. I feel like they tell a story. And could you explain what some of your stories are, your tattoos, and what they mean to you? Some other stuff you'd like to get, maybe?
There's a lot. So my first ones I got when I was 17. I wouldn't recommend that, though the meaning behind them still stands.
Is there
Some
any
of
you
them,
regret?
I don't regret. I just look at them now, some of them, and I'm like, well, that was the best artist I knew at the time.
No.
Which I don't regret anything.
Yeah.
But I've definitely learned as I've gone, like, what style I prefer and things like that. And I agree, like, most of them really do tell, like, a story or, like, a phase of my life or...
So I'm looking at your arm. You have a sleeve under your arm right now, and I see all the floral stuff, and I was actually just messing with an artist yesterday about, because I want to start a sleeve on my right arm, and I was messing because I want some floral work done on my right arm, so it just making me think, like, how excited I am, how I'm dying to get tattooed. I'm just... Because once you get one, they're addicted. Like, people don't realize they are addictive because you get these ideas and they're like, oh, this would look really good here. This would look cool here.
So we were talking about it last time. It's floral now. That's what you want. It was unreleased last time.
I want to go with my family's birth flowers on my right arm.
That's
like,
some of mine.
Like a landscape. My family's birth flowers tied into like a landscape piece with just like nature, kind of, just like the things I love, and just want to do it like my right arm for my family and friends, and my left arm how I look at life, and just see where it goes from there. But I have like just some design sent to an artist for floral work I want done on my right arm with all my 5 family's birth flowers that I think would look really nice, and we'll see when it happens, hopefully sooner than later, and we'll just go from there.
So best tips for someone who doesn't have any tattoos?
Think about it for a good 6 months before you go put it on your body.
Okay, think about it. What about find the right artist?
Yeah, definitely find
do
the
your
right
research
artist.
with the artist.
Make sure you just don't look at one artist and be like, oh, they do good work, I'm going to go with this person. Make sure you go and look at 5-10 different tattoo artists before you go, and see if you know somebody that's got tattoos and be like, hey, well, what do you recommend for an artist? Or for, because there's different types. There's a realism, there's black and white, there's portraits, there's different artists for everything. And every artist has got their what's the word I'm looking for? Their
specialty.
Their specialty, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, thank you. Specialty, so like the artist I went to last time, he does very good like font work and black and white work, but he's also getting really good at portraits and floral stuff, so I want to stick with going to him.
What's his name?
His name is Matty Spins. I've talked about him, I think, before on the podcast.
Yeah, I've thought about it so many times, but I can't commit to anything. I haven't thought about it for long enough, I guess.
You haven't found anything good enough then.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Meaningful enough, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there is definitely meaningful things I could do.
You'll know when you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
It'll
definitely.
stick.
Yeah. When was your first tattoo, Max?
When I was 18, I got the one on my back, my number plate. It was right after, it was a couple years after my accident. It was when I turned 18 after my accident. I got my number plate on the date of my accident. It's actually 9 years since I got in my accident tomorrow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which I can't believe. Time flies.
It really
That is
does.
crazy.
But I'm here, I'm living, got a full-time job, and I got good friends around me and stuff like that, like you guys, and so I can't complain. So life could be different, could be more difficult, but I don't want to say life's easy, but I'm living and I'm enjoying life, so everybody face their battles, but you just got to get through and keep trucking on.
When you love life, it loves you back.
Exactly, yes, that's a good thing to say.
Damn. Yeah, I feel like I have nothing to complain about. I bitch and moan about certain things, and I'm always in a lot better place or I'm doing a lot better than, people that have it a lot worse than me. That's a dumb thing to say, but it could be a lot worse.
Yes, like I always think about, like, I have a great place to live. I got great family and friends. I'm able to eat every day, but there's some people that don't even have electricity or have a place to shower. They're worried about where every meal's going to come from. So I'm just lucky enough to be able to live with my family and be able to have everything around me and live I don't want to say a upper class life, but I live a good life where I'm.
It's crazy when you change your perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have the ability to change your perspective, you'll probably be able to live a happier lifestyle, no matter what you're doing.
And I feel like I can change my perspective just become from like what I had to live with. Like I learned how to learn how to live a whole new life with becoming disabled. And like I'm not mad at it. Like I enjoyed learning it. It was a good challenge. It was something that made me a stronger and better person. Like
it's a good skill to have too, being able to.
Yeah, and of course there's days that are harder than others. Like, oh, this is a pain in the ass, but like how am I gonna get through this? But like you just learn. You just can't give up, and you can't say no, and you just gotta keep fighting. And that's
if you word the problem differently. Like today I put something in my story where it's like, oh, I have to work out today, or I'm healthy and I get to work out today.
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, going to work, I'm like, I have to go do this shoot. And I'm like, no, but I get to. These people don't do this every day. I do. So let me make it something special for them.
You gotta find the pleasure in the simple things.
Yeah. Like I get to have a job that I love. Don't like make it a chore.
And that's like same with me. Like there's some people going to work where they're like, oh, they're just regretting it. Like, oh, I hate this every day. And like, of course there's days where like I'm dealing with the kids and it's hard work. And it's like, oh, this is a real drag. But then at the end of the day, you realize you get out and you're like, these kids, I have a better environment to live in than these kids. And these kids are coming from a hard home life. And I'm able to live and help these kids every day. And there's maybe I may be the only person they can trust, one of the only people they can trust and
which
talk
is pretty cool and really rewarding for you.
Yeah, when you get out of the day, at the end of the day, and you're like, realize, like, I'm making a difference in this person's life. This is something they're going to remember me. Just not because I was stubborn with them and I made them do their work, but because I want them to succeed.
But that's a skill that you could also practice too. It's like even saying that out loud, I get to work out today, or I get to go to this job, or I get to go to whatever, or I get to help people today. If you say it out loud, it's like a little bit of a affirmation, kind of a what would you call that? A manifestation in a way, and it just changes your perspective, which is a skill.
I'm glad you brought up affirmations, because that's something we do with our kids, like with some of the social workers, and the kids think it's so stupid, but it's important to tell yourself, I matter, I'm strong, I'm gonna get through this day. Like, feel like, oh, that's just a joke, that doesn't mean anything. But you're fighting your own battle. Your mind is your biggest enemy. So you gotta, if you're saying positive things to yourself, positive things are gonna come for you. So it's good to say to yourself, I'm gonna get through this. And however, if you want to pray, if you want to do whatever, just say, I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna continue to prove this. I'm going to work hard to get this better and grow myself to be a stronger person. And some people might laugh, like, oh, that's so stupid. Like, why are you saying that to yourself? But no, try it. It's going to help you. It's going to make a difference. It's going to make you want to thrive, to succeed.
Yeah, it really will make a difference. I think just saying anything out loud is just like almost programming your brain to go achieve that thing, or feel that way, or feel better in a way that you can go achieve those things.
It's also programming the universe too. Like everything has a vibration. Like every emotion that you feel, when you hate life, it'll hate you back. When you're sad about life, it'll be sad. Everything what you put out, you get back times 10.
Yeah, so if you try to put out positive energy, you're going to get positive energy. And that's like my thing. I try to put out the most positive. If I ever feel like I'm putting out some negative energy, if I need to go reset, like go for a walk or something like that, listen to some music, to be alone for a while, just try to reset yourself. Everybody needs those times where they're down on their luck and they just feel like they're not useful in life. But you just got to realize everybody's here for a reason. You got to trust the process and be grateful for what you got. And
so when you have those negative feelings, like you're feeling anxious or whatever, I mean, how do you snap yourself out of it?
I just like to listen to music, honestly. Just plop myself down, maybe put some headphones in, close my eyes maybe.
Yeah.
Or just go do something active. Try to do something to get my mind off those thoughts, because I know they're not true. Like I have OCD. It's like some days it's worse than others, but like I'm not gonna let that affect me. Like I'll think about things and be like, but like that's not me. Like I'm not gonna live like that. My mind's just telling me these things, but that's not me at all. So I just don't let it bother me. If I have to go shut my eyes for a few, listen to some music, go outside, chill with the dogs or something like that. How about you guys? What do you guys do when you're feeling stressed?
Stressed? Oh, stress is like, I want to go.
You probably go for a run.
Yeah, exactly. I want to go move. When I'm stressed, I want to move. Anxious is a different feeling though. Anxious is like, you're just sitting on the end of your bed and you're thinking about everything and you're thinking, oh, my future is going to go terribly. And that's kind of what it feels like, right? That's like an anxious feeling, I guess, for me. And it is really hard to snap yourself out of that. Sometimes anxiety, I could go exercise too, which will help. But I don't know. I guess pray is really, and affirmations. That's for me.
Yeah, my praying is very important to me. It's something I have to do every night before I go to bed, and it just makes me feel comfortable with myself. And who knows what's out there? But
another one is read too.
Yeah.
I just got another book from Business Mentor I was just talking about. But I'm reading 4-Hour Work Week right now, and it's hard, man. I'm not a good reader. Like, I have to commit time to go read. I've been trying to read before bed, and I learn certain things, and sometimes I feel like it's non-useful information, but other times it's things that'll like completely change my day-to-day actions, at least for a little while. Is there any books you read, Max?
So I just honestly, I follow a lot of pages on Instagram just for like self-help and stuff like that, and just like positive, like successful, and like whether it's investing or just like business. I just follow like success pages, and they just give you ideas like, oh, read through these slides. These slides will improve your days, and like they say like, oh, only 2% of people read till the end of these slides. But I'm like, I want to be that one of those 1% that read all these slides. Because honestly, not just like say I read them all, but like honestly, like, I remember the things I read in those slides because they're true things. Like they get set in your mind. It's like you got to go life it like that, because you can't. Some things are very inspiring. It's very true, but you never think about it until it's right in front of you and you read it.
I wish I was better at retaining that kind of information. Like, I'll read something and then within the rest of the day it's gone. Like, it'll benefit me for the rest of the day, and then I wake up the next morning, it's like I have to almost rethink it or read something new, and it's just, there's so much information that we're always constantly taking in, so you forget the things that are kind of benefiting you more.
Well, that's like, I'm glad you brought that up, because that shocked something in my mind. I remember I read a couple weeks ago, it's someone on Instagram, it said like, yes, a lot of people that are very successful, they get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to exercise every day. But then there's also a lot of people out there that don't get up that sleep in. They don't get up till 8 o'clock in the morning. They're just as successful. Their brain just runs in different ways. They need more sleep, or you just need other stuff to function more better. So like, you don't gotta think like, oh, I gotta be the person that gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning to exercise 3 hours a day every day to be successful. You just have to do what's best for yourself. If you want to sleep till 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, you don't get up till then, and you don't go to bed till midnight or so, but you get your 7, 8 hours of sleep, and you're able to get up and be successful and make a difference in somebody's life every day, then you're being successful in your life. You don't have to live like all these. You don't have to follow a stereotype of what I'm saying to be successful. Whatever is success for you is what's important.
I know what you're saying, though, as far as like doing what's best for you. But the problem that I was talking about is more along the lines of there's so much information, so much content that we consume each day, whether it's listening to people, and you almost have to like use the blockers and focus on the content that's actually going to benefit you, versus like you got to have like a bouncer of things that you let into your mind and things that you don't.
You gotta let the nonsense go.
Because there's so much nonsense, and there's so much people trying to give you advice, but only a small percentage of it is actually going to apply to you.
And only you know what's right for you, too. You can't let other people tell you to live your life. You live your life what makes you happy and makes you feel successful, and that's what matters.
Yeah, man.
And
that's what we're trying to get across with this podcast. Sorry, Megan.
No, like to I feel like a lot of people these days are so consumed by everything, and they don't ever, like, they want to be with friends, they don't want to be alone, they want to listen to music, they want to watch TV, they want to scroll on their phone, but when do they sit with their own thoughts? And like, when you start like really grounding yourself and like allowing yourself to be in solitude, not be lonely, but be in solitude and like listen to your own thoughts, that's when you become familiar with the voice that tells you what you need to do, not the voices around you telling you what you need to do.
And that's honestly a reason why I started this podcast, because like I said, it's nothing like too scheduled. We're just opening up the heart, and we're having an open conversation. Like, I haven't talked to Megan in probably 2 or 3 years, honestly, since the last time I've seen her. It has been 4 years?
A couple years, yeah. I
haven't talked to her in a long time. And I was saying my friend John, who I recorded the last podcast with. What's so good is, I think this is honestly the best way to catch up, because we're not interrupting each other. We're just sitting here simply having an open conversation, getting to know each other again, and reconnect like the days when we used to talk more often. I think that's the best way to reconnect and just build a relationship with somebody.
I agree.
Yeah, man. So, Max, what else do you have to add, man? Is that
Well, I just want to thank you all for listening. If you guys really enjoyed it, please give it a share. Follow Play Your Cards Podcast. Follow my max.a.daniel.instagram. Megan, what are your socials? Would you like to throw them up there so you can your photography page and your Instagram for like so people can see what you're doing?
Yeah, my Instagram is just megan.niger, Niger.
That's where you do your
Photography.
on? Cool.
Yeah.
And where is it catch anywhere you can see like cute pictures of your dog and stuff like that? Or do you not want to share that one? Or?
My other account is it's Megan Duh. It's like one of those, like, you know, when you hand out your email from like middle school and you're embarrassed by it, it's that name. But
I love it. That's an awesome name. And then Ethan, of course, follow Fast Fit Academy. And
sure.
I just want to thank you guys all for listening. If you enjoyed it, it'd mean a lot if you could please share, and we'll have more episodes soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you.
And Ethan.